How many people's lives will be changed forever because of your investment in their life? That's what we're going to talk about today on The Beat. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Allen Parr. We are often told that we are supposed to make disciples as Christians, but we're seldom told exactly how we're supposed to do that. And so today I want to give you 4 principles that you can use to hopefully make a lifelong impact in somebody else's life. And the first principle is the principle of intentionality. One of the things that you'll notice about Jesus is that he was very intentional about selecting the group of men and women that he would invest his time and pour his life into. In other words, he selected them instead of waiting around for them to ask him. And so if you're going to make a lifelong impact on somebody's life, it starts with being intentional and not waiting for them to ask you to disciple them. So you want to select people who want to be discipled, who see the value in discipleship, somebody that is appreciative that you would spend and invest your time in their life, and finally, somebody that's going to take what you place in them and go out and reproduce themselves in somebody else's life. Not only do we need to be intentional, but we also need to be willing to invest the time. Now, this is probably the biggest hindrance that people generally have to making disciples or pouring themselves into somebody else, is that it just takes too much time. Jesus spent over 3 years pouring his life into 12 men, and these same 12 men, after Jesus died, went out and reproduced themselves in other people and single-handedly changed the very course of the world. A wise person once said, if you want to impress people, spend a little bit of time with them. If you want to influence people, spend more time with them. But if you want to impact them, spend much time with them. Only over time will you begin to develop trust with this individual. And then once you've developed trust with them, you'll actually be allowed to share truth with them. And so once you get to the place where you can share truth with somebody, you're no longer simply filling their mind with a whole bunch of biblical content, but instead you're now impacting their heart, which ultimately should impact the way they live. And this leads us to our third principle, which is the importance of teaching. Not only was Jesus just hanging out with these 12 disciples, but he was actually teaching them and grooming them and teaching them important things about God and his word along the way. And so what does that look like for you? Well, there's several ways that you can pour yourself into somebody else. The easiest way is to simply pick a book of the Bible and go through it together and discuss it. But you may or may not be comfortable with going through the book of the Bible, and so my suggestion would be to maybe choose a spiritual book that the 2 of you or the 3 of you, however many in your group, can read and discuss together. Or maybe you just share some of your personal, intimate experiences from your life, wisdom that you've gained. Or maybe you can pick some articles that you think are interesting to read and just send them to your group, and you all can come together and read them together. But many people tend to shy away from teaching other people because they feel inadequate, they feel ill-prepared, they don't feel confident that they know enough in order to share it with somebody else. And so my encouragement to you would be not to focus so much on what you don't know or making sure that you have the answers to all the questions that people may ask, but just simply take what you do know and pour it into somebody else's life. The fourth and final principle is the principle of integrity. Jesus' disciples followed him because he modeled everything that he was asking them to do. In other words, they knew what prayer looked like because they saw how Jesus was praying. They knew what it looked like to teach people because they saw Jesus teaching. They knew what it looked like to serve people because they saw Jesus giving up his life to serve other people. And so one of the quickest ways to destroy a discipleship relationship is a lack of integrity, because the people that you're leading are looking up to you as an example for them to follow. And so I want to encourage you never to forget that by simply investing time into even just one person, that you are making an impact on eternity. So remember, when discipling someone, intentionality, time, teaching, and integrity. Hey, thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I'll see you all next time on The Beat.